Vanity Fair, I live an extravagant life and I make no apologies for it. I'm free as a motherfucker.
All right, listen up. Candace Owens and Diddy, best friends? Not a chance. These two are worlds apart, politically, culturally, and personally. The truth is, their beliefs and actions clash so hard that friendship just isn't on the table. If you think this is just some silly celebrity drama, think again. There are real reasons why Candace Owens will never be friends with Diddy. And today, I'm breaking down the top 10 facts that explain exactly why. Let's get it. 10. Political opposites. Owens is a conservative firebrand. Diddy's a progressive champion. First, their political beliefs couldn't be more different. Candace Owens rose to fame as a staunch conservative commentator, known for defending former President Donald Trump and critiquing the Black Lives Matter movement. She openly calls herself a proud Black conservative and has been vocal about rejecting what she calls victim mentality in the Black community. Diddy, born Sean Combs, is the polar opposite in politics. He has consistently supported Democratic candidates and progressive causes. For instance, in 2020, Diddy donated $1 million to support Black Lives Matter protests and other racial justice movements. He's also spoken at rallies demanding police reform and racial equality. Diddy's public support for figures like Barack Obama and Joe Biden highlights his commitment to progressive politics. This massive ideological divide makes it almost impossible for the two to connect. They don't just disagree, they represent two entirely different political worlds. 9. Their views on Black activism are worlds apart. Candace Owens has been very critical of Black Lives Matter, labeling the movement a disaster and accusing it of promoting division and victimhood. In 2020, she went viral for saying BLM was an attack on the Black community and urged Black Americans to stop blaming others and start focusing on self-improvement. Diddy, by contrast, has used his platform and wealth to support social justice causes. He not only gave millions in donations, but also participated in marches and public events calling for police accountability. In 2020, Diddy released a video encouraging people to vote and fight systemic racism. His message aligns closely with the Black Lives Matter movement's goals of addressing structural racism and inequality. Their conflicting approaches to Black activism mean they champion entirely different narratives. Owens pushes self-reliance and personal responsibility. Diddy advocates for systemic change and collective action. This fundamental disagreement is a huge barrier to friendship. 8. Candace Owens criticizes hip-hop culture. Diddy is hip-hop royalty. Candace Owens has often criticized hip-hop culture for glorifying violence, drug use, and what she sees as irresponsible behavior. She argues that some aspects of rap music harm the Black community's image and contribute to societal problems. Diddy, however, is a pioneer in hip-hop. He's not just a rapper, he's a producer, label founder, Bad Boy Records, and one of the genre's most influential figures. He helped launch the careers of iconic artists like the Notorious B.I.G. and Mary J. Blige. Hip-hop is at the core of Diddy's identity and legacy. This cultural divide runs deep. For Owens, hip-hop sometimes symbolizes issues she fights against. For Diddy, it's a source of pride and empowerment. 7. Social media battles fuel the divide. Both Owens and Diddy use social media heavily, but their platforms rarely intersect peacefully. Although Owens and Diddy haven't publicly gone head-to-head directly very often, Owens has criticized the broader celebrity culture that Diddy is part of. Diddy, meanwhile, uses social media to promote positivity, activism, and philanthropy. But he's not afraid to call out people who oppose those values. This online tension means they don't just disagree, their public images compete for influence, making friendship unlikely. 6. Business and brand values. His ventures include the hugely successful Ciroc vodka brand, the fashion line Sean John, and the media platform Revolt TV. Candace Owens, however, brands herself as a political commentator and author. She criticizes mainstream media and many popular culture industries, which often includes businesses tied to celebrities like Diddy. Owens's business model is about challenging the status quo and promoting conservative ideas, which clashes with Diddy's image as a cultural icon and progressive leader. Their business philosophies don't just differ. They represent opposing views on culture, media, and influence, creating yet another wall between them. 5. Different views on gender and feminism. Candace Owens is critical of modern feminism and often argues that it has gone too far or hurt men. She has said that feminism undermines traditional family values and that women should focus more on empowerment through personal responsibility. Diddy, on the other hand, supports women in leadership and empowerment in a more mainstream sense. He's worked closely with many female artists and entrepreneurs and has promoted gender equality in his businesses and philanthropy. This difference in views on gender roles and feminism is another ideological clash that prevents any kind of real friendship. 4. Personal background and life experiences are worlds apart. Candace Owens' background is rooted in a middle-class family, and she's spoken openly about rejecting parts of her past that didn't fit her conservative worldview. She's talked about growing up in Stamford, Connecticut, and how she turned away from liberal politics during college years. Diddy's background is very different. Born Sean Combs in Harlem, New York, he rose from challenging circumstances to build a global empire in music and business. His life story is one of resilience in the face of poverty and systemic racism, and his public identity reflects a commitment to lifting others up through culture and opportunity. These distinct life experiences shape how they see the world, and it's nearly impossible for someone with Owens's perspective to truly relate to Diddy's. That lack of shared experience means no foundation for friendship. 3. Public statements show mutual disdain. There have been moments when both have indirectly thrown shade at each other's camps. For example, Owens has publicly criticized celebrities she sees as part of the Hollywood liberal elite, a category Diddy fits squarely into. This mutual disdain, even if not always explicitly named, keeps a wall between them. 2. Their circles and social networks don't overlap. Friendship often grows from shared circles, but Owens and Diddy run in very different worlds. Diddy's network includes top hip-hop artists, Hollywood celebrities, political progressives, and business moguls who align with his vision. Candace Owens' circle is mostly conservative commentators, Republican politicians, and activists who push right-wing ideas. She's close to figures like Kanye West, at least during his political phase. 1. Fundamental worldviews are incompatible. At the very core, Candace Owens and Diddy see the world in fundamentally different ways. Owens's worldview centers on personal responsibility, skepticism of systemic racism claims, and conservative values like nationalism and traditional family structures. Diddy's worldview emphasizes systemic inequality, cultural pride through music and activism, and progressive social values. These conflicting philosophies shape every part of their lives, from politics to business to culture. And that's the biggest reason they will never be friends. So there you have it. 10 solid reasons why Candace Owens and Diddy will never be friends. It's not just politics or personality. It's deep-rooted differences in how they see the world, what they value, and who they stand with. In a world where public figures influence millions, these clashes aren't just personal. They represent bigger cultural battles. If you found this breakdown interesting, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos where we cut through the noise and get to the real story. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.